Okay, so picture this. There's a book, it's hundreds of years old, and it's filled with the most beautiful, elegant script you've ever seen. Plus, it's got these incredible drawings of plants that don't exist and stars you've never seen. Now imagine that for 600 years, nobody, and I mean nobody, has been able to read a single word of it. Let's dive into one of the most baffling and fascinating puzzles in history. And no, this isn't just some fantasy novel plot. This is the very real story of the Voynich Manuscript. It's a genuine artifact that asks us this exact question. It's like a lock without a key, a message that's lost its translation, and a puzzle that has completely stumped some of the greatest minds to ever live. Yeah, you heard that right. 600 years. For 6 centuries, this book has kept its mouth shut. Think about that for a second. It was created before the Renaissance was even in full swing. It's seen empires rise and fall, survived wars, and it's watched our technology go from the printing press all the way to AI. And through it all, it has said absolutely nothing. So you have to be wondering, where on earth did this impossible thing even come from? Well, its modern story, the part we know, really kicks off just over 100 years ago with a discovery that basically created a legend. So here's the quick and dirty history. Thanks to radiocarbon dating, we know the pages themselves were made sometime in the early 1400s. But then, poof, it just vanishes from the historical record for centuries. It doesn't pop up again until 1912, when a book dealer named Wilfred Voynich finds it tucked away in a college near Rome. And from that day to this, it's still a total mystery. And this, right here, is the real heart of the problem. This isn't just some difficult code or a forgotten dialect. The actual alphabet, this beautiful flowing script that people have nicknamed Voynichese, is completely unique. I mean, it has rules and patterns, it looks like a real language should, but it doesn't match a single thing we've ever found. It's a language from nowhere. Okay, so if the text is a complete brick wall, you'd think the pictures might give us a clue, right? Well, not so much. They're pretty much our only window into what this book is about, but honestly, they just make the whole puzzle even weirder. So let's take a peek inside. So scholars have kind of divided the book into about 6 sections based on these totally bizarre drawings. First, you've got the botanical section, which is full of plants that no botanist has ever been able to identify. Then there's an astronomical part with star charts and zodiacs that don't match any sky we can see. Then you get to the really strange stuff, the biological section, famous for its drawings of women bathing in these weird green liquids that flow through these intricate pipe-like structures. And finally, a pharmaceutical section with drawings of herbs and jars. And all of it is surrounded by that impossible-to-read text. So you see the problem, right? We can put labels on the sections, we can analyze the structure of the writing, but what it all means, we have absolutely no clue. Every single person who has tried to translate it has hit a dead end, which, of course, just makes it that much more fascinating. Naturally, a puzzle this good is like a magnet for smart people. The battle to decode the Voynich Manuscript has become this epic story of intellectual obsession, pitting generation after generation of brilliant minds against this one silent 600-year-old book. And listen, we are not talking about amateurs here. The literal code breakers who cracked the German Enigma machine in World War II, they took a shot at it. Modern linguists armed with supercomputers have analyzed every single letter, and today we are throwing the most powerful artificial intelligence at it. The result? Every single time? Nothing. Zilch. Nada. So what could it possibly be? Well, it all kind of boils down to 4 main theories. The first and most obvious is that it's a secret code hiding some kind of forbidden knowledge. The catch? The world's best codebreakers can't crack it. Theory 2. Maybe it's a lost language, something real that has just been completely forgotten. A cool idea, but without a Rosetta Stone, we're stuck. Then there's the big one. What if it's all just an incredibly detailed and elaborate hoax? If it is, it's one of the greatest pranks in all of history. And finally, a more recent idea, based on those bathing images, is that it's some kind of encrypted manual about women's health. So after all this time, with 0 answers, you have to ask yourself, why do we still care so much? Why does this one little book continue to completely fascinate everyone from scholars to artists to people like you and me? I think it's because it forces us to face this huge, fundamental question. Are we looking at a profound work of hidden genius, or are we looking at the most beautiful, intricate gibberish ever created? The fact that we honestly can't tell the difference is what makes it so addicting. It lives right on that knife's edge between meaning and nonsense. In the end, that might be its real job today. The Voynich Manuscript has sort of become a mirror. When we look at it, we don't see its secrets. We see the limits of our own understanding. It tests our deep-seated need to find patterns and solve puzzles. It's a constant taunt, this idea of secret knowledge that's sitting just outside our grasp. And all of this, all the theories, all the failures, it all leads us to maybe the most fascinating and mind-bending possibility of them all. What if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? For more than a century, we've been obsessed with what does it say? We have thrown every tool we have at trying to read it, assuming its purpose was to be read like a regular book. But what if that was never the point at all? I mean, really think about that. What if the meaning isn't in the words? What if the meaning is in the visual patterns, in the flow of the script, in the strange relationship between the bizarre images and the unknown text? Some people are starting to believe it's less of a book and more of a mystical object, something you're meant to experience, not translate. And if that's true, then the Voynich Manuscript isn't a puzzle waiting for an answer. It's an object that was designed for mystery. It's a work of art whose main purpose is to be beautiful and perfect and permanently unreadable. It's a message that survived for 600 years precisely because its one and only goal was to keep its secret forever. Right now, the manuscript sits in a library at Yale University, but its pages have all been scanned and put online for the entire world to see. All of its secrets are just hiding in plain sight, waiting for a new perspective, a fresh set of eyes. And that, of course, leaves just one final question. Is it possible that the key is still out there, waiting for someone just like you?